Welcome to the Supreme Lending Dallas Show, where you'll be introduced to different speakers on different topics, and you'll meet different guests for each of our episodes. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Supreme Lending Show. I'm Liz Evans, the host, and I want to introduce our guest today. His name is Justin Mirche, owner and president of Creative Credit Solutions. Justin, go ahead and say hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm Justin Mirche, the president of Creative Credit Solutions.
Okay, and Justin, as the audience knows, we like to get to know our guests on a personal level, and so we have a few photos that we found of you. And go ahead and tell us about this photo here.
Oh, yeah. So these are just going to be random shots of my family photos. Everett is our newest addition, along with my 18-year-old, my 13-year-old, and, of course, my lovely wife.
Yes. It's a beautiful family. And I know that I've known Justin for a lot of years, and when this new baby was arriving, he was so excited. And it's so wonderful to watch your wife and how her belly grew and Everett to be born.
Aww.
That was so exciting for us and everyone out there that knows you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And so go ahead and tell us about this photo here.
So this is the big one, right? His big 1-year-old.
Yes.
So his room is decorated in everything astronaut, planets, space. So, we had first year was all about space and all about planets, and we dressed him up like a little astronaut, and then off we went.
Yeah. And how a year went by so fast. I can't believe it's already been
Right.
a year. And you named him Everett. I have to say this because the owner of Supreme Lending is Scott Everett. And so you love Supreme so much you had to name him Everett, right?
That's exactly the reason I did that.
Yeah. Okay. And as I was telling you that Justin and I go back quite a ways as far as getting to know each other on our business partnership. And Justin has done so many events with us, has sponsored so many events. So this next photo is one of them. And I believe this one was a CE.
It was a CE, and I think it was actually a T-Shack CE.
Yes.
Potentially.
Pre-COVID.
Yes, pre-COVID, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, when we could actually be near each other and do live things.
Yes. I'm going to be so ready to get back to that.
Me too.
Yeah. And then this next photo, I believe, was at one of our offices with Juan. He's our in-house lender for a realty company, and Alan. And you helped sponsor that event, and we had a huge brunch that day, correct?
That's right. And that was that was with Juan, and that was a mortgage credit scoring CE course.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was, because you talk about credit at several different places and locations, correct?
That's right. Right.
And I'm showing these photos because we have such a great history and business relationship with Justin Mirche. And the photo that's up on the screen now is just another one that Justin participated in. And this was another one with one of our loan officers, Tim Singleton.
That's right. Yeah, this was great. We did this at I want to say a contractor kind of warehouse for housing, for all things housing, flooring and everything. And it had a beautiful showroom. And then we also did a CE mortgage credit scoring class for realtors. And it was a great event.
Yeah. And I think we have a question that's come in, Justin. I just heard my computer go off. So what is your background, and how did you find your way into the credit restoration industry?
Okay, so my background is I graduated from school. I've got a degree in finance, so everything credit, finance, real estate has always been kind of in my bucket, right? Mm-hmm. My bucket or actually my toolkit of knowledge. And after college, I started working for a broker. I was a broker for a long time, and then after that, I went into the software industry. All the while, I'd always been the credit guru in my circles. I had always been the guy that people went to learn about credit. I'd helped a lot of people with their credit, so I knew it. I knew how it worked. Mm-hmm. While I was in the software industry, I had made a decision that I wanted to be my own boss and do my own thing, but I wasn't sure how that was going to come together. So the planets aligned correctly, and everything kind of came together perfectly for me, where the company that I was working for, the software company, was being sold to a much bigger outfit, which didn't have a very good name. And At the same time, I was getting recruited by Hewlett Packard for a C-level executive sales position. And both of those opportunities weren't going to be a best fit for me. So luckily and methodically, about a year prior to that, I started to test the market in terms of credit. So I was doing pro bono work for realtors and also for lenders. So I'd already known that, I was onto something that was going to be extremely valuable for consumers. So by the time all those things kind of happened, I was ready to go do my own thing, and here we are.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
The way you got to where you are.
Yeah.
Yes. And what makes Creative Credit Solutions different from other credit restoration companies?
Okay, so that's a really good question, right? So much like I was kind of talking about my background, I didn't work for another credit restoration company. I didn't have any bad habits that I picked up from other companies. I built the company from the ground floor up. So in terms of services, we just have a lot more service offerings, but also we actually create customized plans for each one of our clients. And if we can find a direct pathway to qualification for those clients to help them meet their goals, then we'll take that client on. And if there's not a direct pathway, then what we'll do is we'll give them an amazing analysis and give them some actionable items to complete, and then we'll circle back when the timing might be better. So this industry it can be known for not having a whole lot of integrity, not doing the right thing, and serving their partners and clients. So I'd like to say that, we make sure that the clients that we take on get to the finish line.
And I can attest to that because we've worked so much with you that Justin is honest, has integrity, and we definitely believe in him. And he works with several of our Supreme Lending loan officers all around the nation, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So we're very fortunate to have someone like you.
Oh, thank you. I'm fortunate to have you.
Thank you. And Justin, we have a viewer asking if you are licensed and bonded, and what does that mean?
No, so that's a really good question. So yes, we're registered with the Attorney General, and we're also bonded, which means, for those of you that don't know what that means, it means that if there is something that happens, that the consumer can go against us and our bond to recoup costs, whatever they've paid, right? If there's a problem. So the good news is that we've never had a situation where that's been a thing. And also, by being registered with the Attorney General, they make you submit paperwork once a year that verifies under oath, with a notary, that you haven't had any complaints or issues, right? So what you'll find is if you just, even in the local area, if you just start running a lot of these companies' names, you're going to find that a vast majority of them are not registered with the Attorney General.
Well, that's really interesting to hear.
Yeah. I used to, early on when I first started the company, I would Google people. I'd be like, who's this competitor? Oh, they're not. Oh, they're not. So.
Okay. And we have another viewer asking a question. And what is your favorite and least favorite part of your career?
It's a really good question.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so my favorite part of this business is that you get to genuinely help people. You get to genuinely change people's lives, and you get to watch them progress into and flourish in the American dream. They get their own home. They accomplish their goals, and we're changing people's lives. The same thing that Supreme Lending does. We change people's lives.
We absolutely do.
Yeah, it's a big responsibility, and it's a big pleasure. And watching a family that has been renting for 10 years get in with them and their 3 kids into their first home is phenomenal.
It's rewarding. It's a rewarding
really
feeling.
Is.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
A huge deal. Yes. And what is a good way to repair damaged credit?
What's a good way? Oh my gosh, we could talk about that for hours and hours and hours. So
the short version.
The short version. Okay.
Yeah.
So for any one client, there's going to be a customized plan for each client. It could be that we need to restructure debt to help with debt to income ratio issues. It can be that we have student loan issues, or we need to rehab student loans. It can be that the client doesn't have enough credit, which happens a lot because the client had a life issue, and now they're on the other side of that life issue, and now they have the drive, means, and ability to do something about it, but they don't know where to start. So a lot of those people don't have enough credit. So directing them to the right areas to find that credit's important. In some cases, we can get entries off of a client's credit profile based on this idea that it doesn't meet the legal requirements to be there. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is very specific about what an item needs to look like to stay on someone's credit. in some cases, we have to help the client resolve debt in order to get things off of their credit. So it really just depends upon a lot of different factors.
And that's why people should contact you or contact us.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's not a set it and forget it kind of a situation. Most companies operate where they take on the client and they spit them out wherever they spit them out, and that's just kind of where they land. It's not like that. Half is us and half is the client. There needs to be constant communication. There needs to be constant coaching.
A process.
Yeah. A plan.
Yes, a plan.
Right.
And another viewer has asked this question: is Credit Karma a good source of information?
That is a wonderful question. Okay, so
Thank you for asking that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get asked this question more than in any other question, and the truth is that I'm not going to badmouth any other kind of company at all, but there's some issues with Credit Karma. The first issue is that they don't represent all the information. They only have 2 of the 3 bureaus. They don't represent Experian. Experian is one of the biggest bureaus. So immediately right off the top, 1/3 of the information is not there. So what is that? 66% is there, and the other, that's a failing grade, right? We need more data. The second problem is that Credit Karma uses what's called a Vantage score, and no one in real estate uses a Vantage score, right? So it's a scoring algorithm that is not adopted widespread, and really is just kind of confusing for the consumer. So lack of information, incorrect scoring model, and then of course the client, the whole point of Credit Karma and the reason that it's free is because they're monetizing those people, right? So they're getting their information, they're selling them credit cards and telling them they're mortgage ready, and then they come to us and we pull their actual scores, and they're not. So it's just confusing for the consumer.
Okay. And what credit score do mortgage lenders use?
Okay, so Credit Karma uses what's called a Vantage score, right? And mortgage lenders use FICO, but it's not just that simple, because any client that I talk to will say, well, I'm looking at my Discover account and it's showing my FICO score. Well, the problem is that there's dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of FICO scores. So each industry pulls its own variation of FICO based on risk. Your auto loan industry pulls their own variation. They've got several different variations. So does your bank card industry. And in the mortgage industry, we use a very specific subset of FICO. It's called FICO 2, 4, and 5. Okay, now these algorithms were developed almost 20 years ago. Okay, so 20 years ago, these algorithms came about, and they haven't changed since inception, which means that all these fancy things that people try to do, like Experian Boost and all these other types of things, are not effective when it comes to the mortgage score, because it doesn't react to those kinds of things.
Okay. And as we come to a close of our segment today, we have one last photo to show. And Justin, this is so adorable. Tell us about this photo.
Well, this is me and my lovely wife. So we like to apparently swim with the dolphins sometimes. And this was us taking a family vacation to the Dominican Republic. And this is one of those fantastic things that we did where we were there.
Okay. And I want to thank Justin for being here today. And thank you for joining us for this episode on FICO. And if you have any questions, please contact us. The phone number information is up on the screen. And thank you once again for joining us today, and have a blessed day.